Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Supernaturalist, the podcast where we explore the creatures, legends, and myths that inspired supernatural. I'm your host, Shelley Meyer, and today we're diving into one of the most chilling creatures to ever haunt a bathroom mirror, the one and only Bloody Mary. Season 1, Episode 5 of Supernatural, titled Bloody Mary, brings us face to face with this vengeful spirit who is bound to mirrors, waiting to strike terror to anyone who dares speak her name. But who is Bloody Mary? Where did she come from? And how can she be defeated? Today, I'm going to break down her lore, her MO, and how she's depicted in both folklore and on Supernatural. So let's get started. Bloody Mary is one of the most infamous legends in folklore, and she's often seen as a classic urban legend. But what's her real story? The most popular version of the legend says that Bloody Mary is a vengeful spirit of a woman who died under tragic or violent circumstances. In some stories, she was a young girl who died in a horrific accident or at the hands of a murderer. In others, she was a woman wronged, perhaps murdered by her lover or driven to madness by grief and rage. Regardless of her backstory, Bloody Mary is a spirit bound to mirrors, and she's often said to appear when someone speaks her name 3 times in a mirror. But Bloody Mary isn't just a name. She's a curse, a spirit that has been twisted by rage, revenge, and sorrow. The real question is, what makes her so dangerous? Bloody Mary's MO is simple but terrifying. She's bound to mirrors, waiting for an unsuspecting person to call her out. The most common way for people to summon her is by saying her name 3 times while standing into a mirror, usually in a dark room. This ritual is said to be the way to release her from the mirror prison and allow her to manifest in the real world. Once summoned, Bloody Mary appears as a ghostly figure with a distorted, often gruesome appearance. Her face may be covered in blood, with her expression twisted in anger or agony. She then seeks out the person who called her name and exacts her revenge. In some versions of the story, Bloody Mary kills her victims by scratching their eyes out or dragging them into the mirror with her, trapping them forever in her world. Her MO is always rooted in vengeance. Bloody Mary doesn't show up just to haunt for fun. She's seeking something. In some versions, she's seeking justice for her own death, while in others, she just wants to cause pain because of the hatred that has consumed her. The lore of Bloody Mary has roots in different cultures, and while there are variations, the core elements are usually the same: a tragic death, a spirit bound to a mirror, and the curse of revenge. In Western folklore, Bloody Mary is often depicted as a ghost who can be summoned by saying her name in front of the mirror. The most common version is that she was once a beautiful woman who was either murdered or suffered some terrible fate. After her death, her spirit became vengeful, and now she haunts mirrors, waiting for someone to call her name and release her from her prison. Some say Bloody Mary is the spirit of a woman who was wronged by society, perhaps a woman accused of witchcraft, a mother who lost her child, or a lover betrayed. Her story has evolved through generations, with different versions told around campfires, at sleepovers, or in high school bathrooms. But regardless of the specifics, the common thread is that Bloody Mary is a spirit of rage, trapped and seeking vengeance. Now, let's take a look at how Supernatural portrays Bloody Mary. In this version, she is the vengeful spirit of a woman named Mary Worthington, who died after it's suspected she was killed by her lover, a doctor, who removed her eyes. Her anger and pain trapped her spirit in the mirror she died in front of, and she became a creature of vengeance bound to mirrors. In the Supernatural version, Sam and Dean investigate the mysterious death of a father who had a major stroke in front of his bathroom mirror after his daughter called Bloody Mary. It's believed he saw the face of a woman in the mirror before he died. Sam and Dean quickly discover that the entity responsible is Bloody Mary. In Supernatural, Bloody Mary is a ghost with a very specific target: anyone who looks into a mirror and sees her face or is in proximity with someone who has a deep secret. Once she's summoned, she doesn't just kill her victims, she tortures them, revealing to them their deepest, darkest secrets in the mirror before killing them. It's not just a physical threat, but a psychological one too. So how is Bloody Mary killed? Let's talk about this. In folklore, some versions of the story suggests that Bloody Mary can be stopped by breaking the mirror in which she is trapped. This act of shattering the mirror is symbolic of destroying the curse that holds her spirit. But is it really that easy? In Supernatural, the solution is slightly more complicated. Sam and Dean realize that Bloody Mary is linked to her mirror, but there's another layer to the mystery. She is able to torment people by showing them their sins or wrongdoings. To defeat her, Sam and Dean need to confront the deeper part of Bloody Mary's curse, her connection to her own. In the episode, Sam is confronted by his own secrets and has to stop her by trapping her in her own mirror and destroying it, just like in the folklore. The key to ending Bloody Mary's reign of terror is breaking her link to her mirror and ultimately to her own unresolved pain. In Supernatural, Bloody Mary can only be stopped when her connection to the mirror world is severed, when the physical object that binds her to the mortal realm is destroyed. That would be her mirror. In the world of Supernatural, Bloody Mary is more than just a ghost. She's a tragic figure consumed by rage and revenge, bound to mirrors and forced to live out her painful death over and over again. Her presence in folklore and on Supernatural serves as a reminder of the power of unresolved grief and the destructive force of it. So the next time you're alone in front of a mirror, you might want to think twice. You never know who or what might be listening. That's all for today's episode of Supernaturalist. I hope this dive into Bloody Mary gives you a deeper understanding of the lore behind one of Supernatural's most famous spirits. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, share, and join me next week as we explore more monsters and legends from the world of Supernatural. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, don't mess with mirrors.